Hello, and welcome back to Asianpulse. I'm your host, Shivani Naiker. Thank you for tuning into your educational and informative network. We are broadcasting from the unceded territories of the Semiahmoo First Nations, Katzie, and Kwantlen First Nations. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the people of Ukraine who are fighting back for the safety of their people in Ukraine. Russia as a nation has started a war on Ukraine and wants to take over the country. We just pray for peace in Ukraine. Happy International Women's Day, which each year on March 8th, IWD is a global day celebrating the historical, culture, and political achievements of women all over the world. This day also marks the call to action of accelerating gender parity. I'll be right back from these words from our sponsors.
Buying or selling a house is a difficult process. Get Brent Prakash from Saba Realty Limited to find you your dream home, whether it's your first house, upgrading, or investment property. Always at your service with a fast, friendly, and honest opinion, Brent Prakash will guide you through the entire process. Get in touch with him today for a free, no-obligation consultation at 778-840-5866. I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada Incorporated. I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada Incorporated.
Community Outreach Pharmacy, providing in-home pharmacy services.
This includes our specialized diabetes and blood pressure monitoring program,
Free blister packing, free deliveries, and an in-home injection service throughout the whole Lower Mainland.
Call us at 604-777-5601 for more information.
If you'd like to be a sponsor on our show or would like to sponsor any segment, please call us at the number in our ending credits. In our studio, we have Parminder Tung, who is a lawyer and a mediator. He is here to talk about the vital role that women play in our families. We need to make sure that they are looked after when we talk about inheritance. He is also here to talk about inheritance law. No one talks about inheritance, especially about women, and helping them learn and exercise their inheritance rights, as this has become a real issue in our community. Here are some announcements that you might be interested in. Khalsa X Students Reunion 2023 in Fiji. If you are a Khalsa X student and would like to join the rest of your classmates and friends to celebrate with them, please let us know, and we already have limited space. For more information, please contact Camilla Sings at 604-537-5123 or go to the Facebook page at Khalsa Reunion 2023 and register. Support Rally for Ukraine is taking place on March 6th at 6 p.m. at Holland Park in Surrey. This is a peace rally which stands in solidarity with the people of Ukraine. This is also an opportunity to donate to the UK humanitarian appeal set up by GoFundMe, set up by the Ukraine Humanitarian Canadian Foundation. Food drive-in aid for medical treatment for Sister Nujon is taking place on March 27th at Fleetwood Islamic Center at Suite 209, 8484 162 Street in Surrey. It is a plow drive with chicken plow and tomato chutney for $10. For tickets and for more information, please contact 604-716-5697. Donate Toonies for Tummy. This is a fundraiser for your children so they don't go to school hungry. Please donate for this cause. If you're organizing any events and would like to promote it on our show, please email us at asianpulse@gmail.com. In our studio, we have rally organizers for the Support for Ukraine and here to talk about the Peace Rally and how you can support them. Have a look.
In our studios, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Dupinder Kaur Saran. She's the founder of One Voice Canada, and she is in our studios to talk about our rally being organized. So welcome, my sister and my good friend. It's nice to have you back. And we are here, but today we're going to talk about something that is not too pleasant to talk about, but we have to do it, right? You have to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Camilla, for always having and supporting us when we come to the show.
Yeah.
Yes, so just like you said, we're organizing a rally on March 6th at 6 p.m. in Surrey, BC at Holland Park. We're hoping that the public will show up, and lots of organizations also collaborate and, come to the rally and show their support. Now people are probably wondering what the rally is about, and like you said, it's an unpleasant topic that we're talking about, which is the Ukrainian and Russian war that is going on right now. So in support of Ukrainians and our friends who are Canadian Ukrainians, we are holding a rally at Holland Park in support of,
So this rally is organized by us, like we as a Brown community or as a Sikh community or people, international students and all that. We are holding this rally to show support for your brothers, sisters, and people of Ukrainian, because they are holding rallies every day, if not every day, sort of every week at the art gallery in Vancouver and all that. We as a human, we need to stand hand in hand together if there is one justice being done to another country, right, or people of that country.
That's right. Particularly because with students now, One Voice Canada has students.
Yes.
Team We Care has students in Canada. There's many other organizations that are helping international students here. And we see that they have friends or they have other students that are stuck in Ukraine right now. And they're struggling. There's nobody there to help them out, or there's organizations that are there to help them out. But let's just say on the, government side or Indian embassy side, they're really struggling to get that help. That's one reason this rally is happening, because these students who are in Canada really feel for what's happening out in Ukraine. Secondly, people like us, like you mentioned, the community overall, we feel the need to support, because if it was to happen to us, we would want that same support back.
Yeah.
And regardless of which country is supporting which country, we as citizens may not agree to which countries are supporting each other, but we definitely need to step side by side and in hand to be there for others who are going through a rough time. The males in Ukrainian nation have to stay behind to fight this war. The children, we're seeing videos of children having to leave their parents and be by themselves with strangers. We're seeing children dying. Videos and news coming out that there's children dying in this war. We're seeing that, seniors and disabled people are struggling to get out of the country. There's still a lot of citizens stuck in the country. And for Russia to be this aggressive and start a war, despite UN nations, despite others stating that there's no need for a war and let there be peace, this is, a time that the countries and the world has to come together.
So talk a little bit about the rally. It's going to be on March 6th at 6 p.m.
That's right. So we chose March 6th at 6 p.m. because so much can happen between now and then, first of all, right?
Yeah.
We want to be very sensitive to our Ukrainian Canadian friends to make sure that they get their voices heard first.
Yes.
They are, like you said, doing rallies every day, and we hope people are going out and supporting those rallies as well. But as a community that comes from, our back home, India, or the eastern side of the world there, sometimes governments don't really take a strong voice or voice their concern around what's happening, or they stay, abstinence from what is happening. And so we're trying to show that despite what happens on the political field end, we as citizens support each other.
Yeah.
Despite what color you are, what race you are, whatever is going on. We have organizations like Khalsa Aid and other humanitarian organizations out in Ukrainian areas and borders right now, helping a lot of individuals. We have, the white community coming together with the brown communities. We have people coming together to show their love and care for one another, and that's what it's really about.
And it's taking place on Tuesday?
It's it's a Sunday, so March 6th
Okay.
is Sunday. So we're doing it a Sunday evening, March 6th at 6 p.m. And again, it's a weekend and a day when people can make it out. So that is why we're choosing that time. And we're kind of doing it in the evening versus the daytime, just because it gets a little bit dark around that time. We want people to realize the darkness that is coming in this world. We want people to bring along light with them. Wearing blue and yellow colors when they're presenting themselves there to show the support. Bringing candles, bringing prayers, bringing whatever it is to help support our friends on the Ukraine side.
So those people that are watching today, I really hope that you can come prepared if it's cold, or dress up properly and wear blue and yellow, because that's the color of their flag, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, so we need to stand side by side with the people of Ukraine so that they feel that they are not fighting this war by themselves, that the people of Canada, or this country, great country of Canada, is all with them. And our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Ukraine.
That's right. So I hope to see everybody there March 6th at 6 p.m. at Holland Park in Surrey, BC. If you want more information, you can contact us at 604-218-3976, or you can email at helpbc@onevoicecanada.org. Thank you.
I am thinking in my head that people would be thinking, why are you doing all this? Whatever is happening, or whatever happened in traditions or generation after, leave it like that. And why are you interrupting or interfering with the family asset? Because they will also, the justification that sometimes they can do is, whenever my daughter got married, then we gave the hedge, or whatever that is, and you give thousands of dollars, gold, furniture, and everything.
Sure.
And that's why sometimes we do not even believe, right? It's not so much now, that in olden days we did not believe that daughters can be educated, because they always become somebody else's property. We look at daughters as somebody's property.
Yeah.
Always look at son, and that's why we always want to have a son.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe the mentality of the people need to change. I have 3 kids. My daughter is the eldest, 2 boys. After that, I had done more stuff for my daughter than the boys, because they are same. They are siblings. They are my children.
Yeah.
And when I'm gonna leave, everybody gonna be divided into equal.
Here's my message. People just need to talk. I actually have no true opinion, personal opinion, on what someone should do with their estate. If the daughter is the one that takes care of you in your old age and you have some assets, right? You would hope that her time, her effort is compensated.
Yeah.
Not that she's looking for it.
No.
What you look at is who's taking care of you. That's what really, really matters, right? You look at the circumstances of your individual family. And then you look at that, and then you make your intentions known in a will. But preferring the boys just because they're boys over a girl, that's dangerous. It's dangerous because it could be met by a challenge in BC law.
Yeah.
And BC is the only province that has this law.
Okay.
The rest of the provinces in the country do not have this law called WESA, where it can be challenged, the variation claims that are made. It's only in BC. Or a special province. Otherwise, the rest of the country, if it's written, the court will honor the word that is written. This is the one province where Wally Opal was our Attorney General at the time, and this was a big discussion that was taking place of what should we do with this law. And it was the Attorney General that said we need to have this legislation in place to fairly provide for our girls. That was our Attorney General.
Treat both the genders equally.
Yeah. And so the judges have the ability, a judge has the ability to hear a case, and then even though the written word is there, he can make justice and equality between the parties, even though the written word is there.
Yeah.
So that's what's important for people to know, that when you're having your discussions and you're doing your planning, is my will a little bit at risk of being challenged? Is it at risk of being challenged? And then how do you plan for that? Okay? Now, that's my personal, you're asking me Parminder Tang, non-lawyer, I just say people should be able to make their own decisions, write their wills, and those wishes should be honored. Okay? But I'm a lawyer. It's my responsibility to tell people of what the law is out there and what risks they have. And the risk is it could be challenged if you're not equally dividing it amongst your children. And in our community, we seem to be doing that.
Yes.
Okay? Not everyone.
Yeah.
Because let's talk about positive things too. there are those beautiful stories where you see those couples that come to your home and say, we've got 2 daughters and a son, and we're giving it equally.
Yeah.
Right? I know lots of people in my family that, over the years, they've modernized. They may have come here in the 70s and 80s and said they'd give everything to their son, but then they kind of became Canadian, and they said, no way, my daughter's done way more for me, she loves me, she's been more involved in my life, there's no way I'm going to do that to her. Right?
Okay, when you said that the first thing is you should have a family meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, that's first. Secondly, after family meeting, you go to a lawyer, either lawyer or a notary or accountant.
Altogether.
Altogether. So, isn't it the responsibility of a sitting lawyer to be able to make sure that you tell them this? We live in British Columbia. This is what British Columbia law is, that all the asset that you have right now and what we're talking about, you can think about it, go home and think about it, but it has to be equally divided. You cannot give it to your son and leave your daughter, because that will come back to me
Very
and
good
become
question.
a court case later.
Very good question. And my concern is sometimes when you see, you pick up a will from Walmart or you go pick up one of these easy wills, right? Do it at home will.
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself will. That's where the risk lies, right?
Yeah.
If you meet with qualified people, the advice they should give is go, hold on, stop. You're giving everything to your son and leaving your daughter out. You need to think about this. You're at risk. Now, we can still draft other ancillary documents laying out a reason why you're leaving your daughter out. And then those ancillary documents can help when a judge is making a decision as to why you did certain things. So it's not to say that every case is a winner when a daughter is left out. If there's a valid reason for them being left out, a court may honor it and say everything still goes to the son. So it all comes down to documents, advice, storytelling, right? What are your intentions? What are your reasons? So you're gonna, if you really need everything to go to one child, right? There are ways to do it. But this is the conversation we're having. Hey folks, we're doing something that's risky. We're doing something that's damaging to our girls. Because I'm listening to these stories. You need to think about that.
Right.
This family discussion, you need to sit and think about that and hear from your daughters. Maybe it'll change their mind. Maybe I'm going to be out of work. I put these videos out there, right?
Yeah.
Part of it is I'm saying, don't get into litigation.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the middle of this.
I don't want to be present.
It is very stressful to be sitting with a girl, a woman, right, who is feeling like her whole life has no purpose.
Yeah.
Because her parents treated her this way. It's very sad. I'd rather not have to deal with that. Have your family meetings.
Yeah.
Get out of this problem, right? Talk about it. Set it up so that everyone's on the same page, right? But if there is a girl that ends up in my office, a woman who ends up in my office saying that she's been left out and it looks like she's been treated unfairly for no valid reason, you better bet I'm going to be coming.
Coming after you.
Yeah.
How much does it cost to have a legal will done? Why do people choose to do it yourself or home or what have you? Why can't you not do a legal?
It all comes down to one thing: cost, and people need to really stop worrying about that upfront
What is
cost.
$1,000? What is $800? Because that's a will. You have thought it out. You have spoken to everybody. You have talked to your accountant. You have done your homework.
Yeah.
And paying $800, you go vacation twice a year, whatever it costs you more.
Yeah.
Why not have that? Because that's your peace of mind. And when you're saying your final goodbye to this life,
Spend your time.
Yeah, and they
So-
say that. I'm leaving, but I know my family will be taken care of. My
bet.
family will be living the same way they are living right now.
On average, people should budget for around $1,000. Now, when you have a complex estate with businesses, real estate, jewelry, say you have lots of stuff, okay, and the tax consequences, and say there's corporations that hold assets. So some people, we have some businesses here that have been in the community for 30 years that are worth tens of millions of dollars. That business needs to be thought of how it's going to be distributed, whether there's going to be sale of shares or assets, all this sort of stuff. It gets complicated. Okay, now those are going to be more, and it's all up to the accountant and lawyer to sit down and give someone some advice around what could this cost to start talking about your estate plan, right? Simple one, as low as $1,000. Complex one, depends on how big the estate is. Depends how big the estate is, but it'll be a drop in the bucket of the value of the things we're talking about, right?
Tell me, before we go,
Yeah.
me what is the difference between next to kin and executor is
Executor?
the executor.
Sure. So an executor is the person who has been given the responsibility to manage the affairs of the estate. Okay? So what that means is, and many people are going to be getting these notices as our aging community starts to pass away now, or those same people that came in the 60s and 70s are now getting to their 70s and 80s, right? So they're choosing someone to make as their executor, and that's their choice. And when they pass, a will come out from the legal office, or when someone searches it and finds it, and say, here is the will, and you are the executor. It's your responsibility to now manage all the affairs. Get an inventory of all the assets, get all the bank account numbers, deal with all the insurance policies, life insurance policies, create an inventory of everything. And then reading the will and seeing who's getting what, right, and ensuring it gets into the right hands. It has to go through probate. You'll hire a probate lawyer probably, okay, to help you, advise you on these things. You need advice. Most of these people need advice on what to do. It's built into the system. The executor goes and gets advice, and then they've got difficult decisions to make, right? Because what if the estate ends up in litigation, and then the executor has to make decisions, right?
What about the trustee?
Yeah, trust. If there's a trust, right? They're in these complicated, multi-million-dollar
Assets,
estates
yeah.
of people. There's a trust involved in there. It will be part of the wind-up of things, right? The trust might be having beneficiaries who get certain assets, right, as part of the estate.
So much to learn from you,
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, and you know, look,
we don't even talk. First time I'm even opening up and
talking
to
about
you.
it. And this is all, you'll see more content coming from me.
Yeah.
I launched a very emotional video that
Yes.
shows a young girl talking to her dadi, talking to her grandma, and grandma saying, you put everything into your family, expect nothing in return. She's looking at her brothers playing and in the fields, and she's
Yeah.
contributing everything, giving her grandmother medication as she's getting older.
Doing
and
the dishes, cleaning, doing everything.
And the little girl says to her grandma, but I'm a part of this family,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's very emotional. Now, I'm going to be putting out more of these
Yeah, videos,
stories.
yeah.
All these are conversation pieces. Did you see that video? Have you seen that story? And hopefully people are going to be seeing more of those, are going to be talking more about this. And if I'm in the middle of the discussion, I feel like it's my responsibility as a lawyer that's been practicing in the community for over a decade, to help people know these issues are going on, avoid litigation, right?
Yeah.
As much as it gets me in business, I'd personally
Rather not do that.
rather not.
Yeah.
I'd
because
rather
there's
see.
so much pain and suffering in
I'd
there.
rather see our daughters. I have a daughter.
Yeah.
Right? To me, it's my legacy that my daughter sees that my father
Yeah,
was involved in
yeah.
stuff like this.
Yeah.
That he cared for people like this. That people who didn't have a voice have a
The
voice.
voice right now,
Right?
yeah.
That we're talking about equality, right, with each other.
Yes.
Our women in our community are the ones that are doing the best
Yeah.
in schools these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Right?
They are the one graduating.
Yeah, these stories that I have from them, they're trying to be the best mother by raising their children. They're expected to maintain a full-time job.
Yes.
Back when I was growing up, a lot of the moms were stay-at-home moms.
Yeah,
So they're raising children, expected to hold down a full-time job, expected to be the best wife in the world, and expected to be the best daughter-in-law in the world, then expected to still be the best daughter to her own family in the
Yes,
world,
yeah.
getting pulled in all these different directions.
Yeah.
And then if her life story is that she's inferior to her male counterpart, what does that mean?
Yeah.
These conversations are the conversations we need to start having.
When I'm looking at you and looking at the time, thank you so much for even educating me and educating the community. What is the last piece of it? This is not the end of it.
Sure.
We will bring you back.
Anytime.
And so what is the one piece of advice that people that are watching you today, what can you tell them that there's something they can do and there will be no regrets later on in life? Or think about what has been said in here.
You bet. And I think, I
Yeah,
look at this
yeah, that's
camera,
your
right?
camera.
Yeah. So there's a few things that the viewer should be thinking about. One is sit down and talk. Talk about your intentions, sit with your family, plan what you want to do with your life and your estate. Then get some professionals involved. Get accountants and lawyers involved to give you advice. Once you have that advice, start preparing the documents. And then after that, rest assured and give good conversations with your children about how you want them to get along and avoid disputes so they don't end up in court. That's the best advice that I can give. Now, when you're in a dispute and you're worried and you have concerns, call me, right? And you know where to find me. I'm all over social media: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Our firm, Lindsay Kenny, LK Law, been around for over 40 years. I've been practicing for over a decade. You'll know where to find me. Just go to the website lklaw.ca, and I'm there to talk to. Half the time I don't charge a fee to people just to start the conversation, and if it elevates into a conversation where you need to retain counsel and get me involved, we can talk about that. But just call. We're here to help.
And your name and your phone number?
Yep, Perminder Tung, and then the firm's number is 604-888-5811.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for bringing me in.
Thank you. Well, it's just like I was sleeping and I got awake myself. There's so much.
Thank you very much.
We have run out of time. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did bringing it to you. If you missed out, you can always watch it again at Wednesdays at 1:30, Thursdays at 8:30, and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. All the shows are also broadcasted in the Calgary Channel 10 on Shaw. All our shows are also uploaded on YouTube under Camilla Singh Shows. If you'd like to be a sponsor or like to sponsor anything on our show, please contact us at 604-537-5123. Before I leave you with these thoughts. Engrave this upon your heart, that there isn't you couldn't love once you have heard their story. By May Lau. I'm your host, Shivagni Naiker, and thank you for enjoying the rest of the day with us. See you all next week on the same channel and the same station. In the meantime, take care of yourself and everyone around you. Goodbye.